Listen, I hear you. I do. But honestly, your opinion doesn't matter.
Y'all ready?
What's up, guys? T-Phase here, back with a how-to SQ, and I thought maybe I would start over from the beginning and talk about sound quality in general. One of the big reasons I hear that people, like probably you watching this, most of the guys that watch our channel, that don't like or don't want to compete in SQ is that it's subjective. Now what does that mean? Subjective means that it's opinionated, like it's someone else's opinion of how your system sounds. And I guess the argument is that what if you disagree with them? Well, the thing is, sound quality is not actually subjective. It is yes or no, and yes or no is not an opinion. It's either right or it's wrong. Is this in the middle or not? Does this sound good or not? Which inherently is a subjective question, and it is open to interpretation. But the thing is, there's a right and there's a wrong. So let's just, for example, let's use art. Music is art. So this here, this is the Mona Lisa, probably one of the most famous paintings in the world, and the picture you're seeing here is not the original, but it's a pretty effing good reproduction of the original. So if I told you to recreate that and you came up with this, is that an accurate reproduction of the Mona Lisa? No. Well, it is an accurate reproduction in so much as it's your interpretation of it or someone else's interpretation of it. Is it correct? If I told you to perfectly reproduce the Mona Lisa and you came up with that, would that be, is it fair to say that that is accurate? No. So the point, the goal of sound quality is to accurately reproduce the original source material. So like what the engineer, the sound engineer came up with in the mixing booth, or what it sounded like at the live concert, or whatever. So the original source material, that is the goal, to reproduce that as accurately as possible. Now you might prefer an anime version of the Mona Lisa or a stick figure drawing of the Mona Lisa. You might prefer that, but it doesn't make it accurate, doesn't make it right. So if your opinion is this or that is a better version of the Mona Lisa, you might, like I said, it's your opinion, but it's not right. Does that make sense? Hopefully it makes sense. So that, in a nutshell, is the point and the goal of sound quality, is to reproduce it as accurately as possible. And not for nothing, but most of y'all watching this is probably, if music was the Mona Lisa, that's what you guys are doing. That's what y'all are listening to. You might like it, but it's not right. And my goal is to get you guys closer to the original. The other thing I hear about sound quality is that it doesn't get loud enough. It won't keep up with my 160 dB substage. No, it's really not. You're right. You're absolutely right. Once things start to get that loud, the way that we hear, frequency separation, like we're more sensitive to certain frequencies than others. And once it gets over a certain threshold, everything just gets squashed and compressed, and frequency separation stops. Everything just becomes a hot mess. That doesn't mean it can't sound good at lower volumes. I mean, I know some of y'all probably ride around doing 100, just wide open 160 dB all day long, which is crazy town to me, because wide open 150 is like, it's fun for like a song, but Jesus, man, you guys are going deaf. Just kidding. So yeah, it doesn't mean that it can't sound good at lower volumes. And we'll get into some of the reasons why it's more difficult to get it louder and still sound good and whatnot later on in this series. But for now, I just wanted to touch on the most common excuse that I hear for sound quality and why y'all don't want to try, I guess the other reason is a lot of y'all don't listen to music that lends itself to sound quality. A lot of y'all listen to EDM or electronic music or just rap that wasn't recorded with a lot of range to begin with. So, and I can understand that. Like, you don't need $2,000 component set to listen to whoever's a popular rapper. I don't even know. But yeah, that's the other thing. I know y'all like it loud and clear. Oh my God. What was the other thing I wanted to talk about? What was it? I should probably write this down. I guess let's talk about judging. And we've touched on this on the show before. But let's just say, let's pretend for a second that you did actually want to get your system to sound better and decided that you wanted to play in sound quality, and the subjective versus objective part of it. And yes, it is a human getting into the car and scoring your system, but they don't just get in and be like, this sounds like poo-poo, and you get a 50 and they get out. It's a checklist, and basically the checklist of it's a long checklist of yes and no's, except it's not binary. You know, most of it is scored 0 to 10 or 0 to 5, 0 to 20, something like that. But there's still yes or no questions. Like I mentioned in the intro, center, like your center image, like everything should be in the middle. So if you were sitting if you were at a concert, say, like the singer is going to be in the middle of the stage normally. Like, that's where the singer is. It's not off to one side or off to the other. And in the recording, it's the same way. And your stage, quote unquote, your stage in your car or your truck should sound that way. Like the center should be in the center, in the middle. If it's not, it's wrong. If it's perfectly in the center, let's say we have 0 out of 10, you got a 10. It's right in the middle, that's a 10. If it's off to the side a little bit, it's wrong, that's a no, but it's a gradation of no. So if it's just a little bit, maybe it's a 9. A little further, 10. If it's smeared all over this place, it'll be a 1. Same thing with left and right. Left and right is scored 0 to 10. Is it a yes or is it a no? Is your left all the way to the left? Yes. Is your right all the way to the right? Yes. Right center, left center, same thing. Tonality is a big one. It's a big part of the scoring. Does everything sound like it's supposed to sound? Does a guitar sound like a guitar? Does a piano sound like a piano? Yes or no? If it's yes, how much does it sound like? How accurate to the Mona Lisa is it? So that's, like I said, it's a bunch of yes or no questions that you have to score, yes or no. And that's where it comes up. So it's a long checklist and your score gets added up at the end. Big long checklist, yes or no. And any of you guys can sit, if you're honest with yourself, you can get in your truck and listen. Is the person singing in the middle? Yes or no? Chances are, unless you have time alignment and you know what you're doing, it's no. It's everything is going to sound like it's coming from the left side, and the person sitting in the passenger side, all of their sound is going to sound like it's coming from the right side, and that's fine. But if you don't know what it's supposed to sound like, it's going to be really difficult to judge yourself and your truck, and whether it's a yes or no. And we'll get into some of that in the next video, how to fix some of that. Like I said, we're starting just from the beginning. We're starting over. So if you guys have absolutely any questions, no matter how dumb or simple or elementary that you think they are, drop them in the comments and I'll try to address as much as I can in future videos, or answer you in the comments, or in the next Ask T-Fade video, or whatever. Alright, I'm gonna wrap this up. I've been rambling for far too long anyway, and I gotta get back to cutting this damn tree up. So catch you guys in the next one.